gonna paint. Imagine that, right? All right. I normally do kind of fun, cutesy stuff, but I'm kind of wanting to do this like a realistic mallard duck, okay? Because I kind of feel like, you know, somebody might want like a realistic looking duck on wood. Who wouldn't, you know? So we're gonna try our hand at it today. Could it be a fail? Possibly. Could it be fabulous? Absolutely. Okay, so we want to start by doing like this green, and I'm gonna use just a little bit of brown here too. And I've got some navy, but I want to start by painting in his little head here with this green, okay? So let's just do that first. Okay, so I'm gonna get that painted in. And this has lines etched on it. Honestly, I was kind of leaning toward doing patchwork on this in the beginning, but I'm gonna be a little different. I'm gonna do like a realistic looking bird. And I'm actually gonna use navy as sort of my color to darken this green up just a little bit. So I'm going to use the navy very slowly to create some depth in my bird, okay? So I just feel like this is a good color to use because they have a very like emerald colored green, so I don't want it to be too bright. So we want to sort of kind of play on that emeraldy green color, and I'm just going to keep adding this navy until I get the color I'm going for. We go. Okay. And then I'm also going to use like a little bit of white to add some shine on the top of his head right here. All right. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Have I ever painted a duck? No. But I'm going to try. We're trying it. We're doing it. We're doing the things. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Okay. So that's his little head. And his little beak needs to be yellow. And I've got a little yellow here, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I do need a little white in with it. I've got some white here somewhere in a cup. Here we go. All right, so we're going to paint in. And honestly, this isn't kind of like our more realistic looking beak, but I just wanted it to be sort of like a more realistic one. Before I started painting, I sort of changed my mind. Yeah, patchwork's cute. I'm loving it, but I need a little different vibe for this one, I think. So that's what we're going with. That yellow is a little, that green's still a little wet, so it's sort of mixing in with my yellow paint, but I'm not bothered by it. I'm letting it happen. So, and I'm going to use a little bit of yellow here. I just think it helps it transition to the beak a little bit better. Now, I know I'm gonna need a good bit of white. I'm gonna do this little section right here. I'm gonna do it brown and then do like a lot of the sections white because of course, you know, the bird is white. So let's do our white first. So I want this to be white and then this and this maybe, these three sections here. So let's go in and do that. And of course you can do this as patchwork if you wanted to, but I'm sort of leaning more toward the realistic for my vibe today, what I'm feeling. Because that's the way it is. You got to do what you feel, you know? All right, so I'm going to paint that in. And I'm just going to let it sort of blend down there. And then all this right here is white. And I always get more out than I need. It never fails. But so I'm going to let all that be white. And I'm probably going to add a little brown into it so it's not just all one color. But I want to get white on there. And then sort of get it kind of color blocked of like what I want each section to be, because then it'll be easier for me to navigate and paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, let's add this part white for sure, because we know it's white. The little collar on his neck. Okay. All right. Now we can go in and we can do this little section here with the brown. And again, it's gonna mix with this white, but we're gonna let it happen naturally. And all that would be the brown. All right, so we're gonna sort of blend it down like that while that white paint's wet. Let it look a little feathery, right? All right, feeling that. Oh, it's good. Okay, so we're just feathering that down real good. Going back up that way. Okay, so we've got that, and then I want to do this little section blue, and I'm actually going to pull, I want it to be navy, so I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to paint that in navy right quick because I want it to blend in with the okay. And then I actually need like a little bit of brown right there, but I need to do this white first. So let's put in a little bit of white right here. And granted, it's gonna mix. We're gonna like make this have a little bit more texture to it here in just a minute. For now, we've got to work with what we got. And what I got is white and a lot of white. White and a lot of white. That's what I got. But we're gonna bring it all together. We're gonna make it come together. Okay? Maybe. I don't know. It could be, it may not come together at this point. I don't really know. But we're just, we're holding steady to the fact that I might be able to save this and make it look like something, you know? So So what I want to do is I want to go across this little section where they blend right here. And I kind of want to make it just blend out a little bit right there. I'm going to take a little white and put on it. And work it in. Work it in. Okay. And then I need to take this and a little bit of the brown and continue to like add some feathers on here. Okay, so it's just gonna take sort of playing with it and using the white and the brown, but I want to create a little bit of that feathered look. So kind of cute. I'm actually kind of impressed. Okay, so the back tail feathers are more like a black. So let's take black. And I'm actually just going to use the brown brush that I have, that I've been using. Actually, I got to get this clog out first because you know me. Are my brushes always clogged? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Uh-oh, I got a little blue on that. That's okay, we're gonna go with it. I seen a couple little specks of paint that were bothering me. Well, no, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna have to get this clog out because I cannot get the lid off. There we go. All right, let's squirt a little bit of black there, maybe a little bit more. Okay, and I need to come with this brown brush. I'm just gonna dip it in the black and I'm gonna pull it forward like this. And we're also going to work it back up into some, I'm gonna add a little brown in there too. And I'm gonna get the white and I'm gonna pull it back up into that black. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squirt a little bit of white paint and kind of use it sparingly to work up into there. Of course, you can put this on a plate and you know, and do it that way, but I was just trying to sort of get it to blend, and that seemed like a good way to do it. Okay. All right, so we got our little duck feathers here. Give me just like a little smidge of that white. There we go. All right, and then I can come back over here on the front, which is what I want to do, because I want to take this brush that's kind of dirty from doing the I don't want to get too much blue on it, but I do want to add a little bit of blue right here, and I want to add a little bit of blue there. Again, as I was saying, this is a patchwork design, but I wanted it to be one that could be used for patchwork or for, and I may eventually get around to painting it as a patchwork design, but I'm kind of just leaning toward right now loving the more realistic vibe of the duck. Okay, so we know that he has a little dark part on his tip of his So we're just gonna kind of pull in like so until we get that. Okay. And then on the part where the blue is, I want to use like a little bit of a royal blue to give just a little hint of like a bright element in this navy, okay? And I can do that with just doing like a little dry brushing. Not real dark, but just a little hint of that bright blue in there, okay? And I can use that same bright blue down here too, if I wanted to kind of create that. I just like that blue. I just think it's really pretty. And it just helps it to pop really good. Okay. So I want to add like a little, he's got like a little place on his nose right here that I want to add. I want to add a little, but I also want to make his nose like kind of come up, because a duck's nose, it's like it comes up a little bit and then goes back. So, but I'm gonna have to do it with this paint here that is not dry. So I'm probably gonna have to dry that because it's turning green. But that's sort of the look that I want to have with his nose, is I want it to kind of come up and go down like that. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, so I just need to dry that before I can do that, because the green is still a little wet. But I think he's looking pretty good. Pretty dang good for a bird. It's mallard here. I'm gonna use this to add a little bit of that blue there. Sort of pull it in on his chin a little bit. I kind of feel like he needs like some dark around his nose, maybe. Like right there. I feel like that is not the right angle. I feel like it needs to be more like that. Is that more right? I really don't know. I feel like I'm struggling on that part. But I feel like that's looking pretty good. And then he needs like a little he needs to be a little lighter, like right in here, like with his cheek. He needs to have like a little puffy cheek. He needs his cheek to be a little puffy looking. I want him to have like a little rounded looking cheek that's a little bit lighter than that. Am I creating that? I think I am. I mean, shut the front door. I'm telling you what. I don't know about y'all, but I think I did do it. I think I did. And then I want to do a little bit like right here over his eye too, to kind of create a little bit of shadow in where his eye is. So I'm gonna like make that a little lighter too, like right there. And I might end up having to like make like inside where his eye is darker to kind of create that depth at his eye that I need. So I'm gonna use the navy to darken it up. And then that way I get that look without having to use too much of a lighter shade. My finger works really good too. And what that does is that creates some folds on his face. It makes him look so good. So good. Oh my gosh. Ashley, look at you, showing out. Slam showing out. Let me pause for just 1 second and dry. Sorry, my son came up here, and so he was talking to me, and I just kept on painting and realized I wasn't recording, but I haven't done anything except painting the eye with a little bit of black, and I added a little white highlight in the eye just to kind of like on the edge there. Okay. Just to kind of give him an eyeball, because, you know, he needs that. That would be good. And I could actually use like a little bit of the blue in there to help create a little bit of depth with his eye too. So I can use that navy kind of in the middle and the black on the side to give him a good like round looking eyeball there. Okay, so we got to work on his beak because it is not it's not what we want, so we got to fix that because it is looking green up here at the top, so we got to fix that. Let's add just a little bit of brown in that yellow. And then let's just go over that, adding a little bit of here we go. Okay, so that helps to give the beak just a little bit better shape of and I'm going to come in and just pop in a little bit of this yellow on in the white to kind of create some little feathers. But I think that's super cute. Oh my gosh, I love him. I think he's really cute. I think he turned out really good. He looks good. I'm gonna add a little sort of dry brush in there on him. And I'm also gonna come in here and just dry brush a little bit of yellow in with that so it's not just a stark line. But I think he looks so good. And I mean, he looks like a real little duck. You know, he looks really good. I thought he turned out super cute. I love him. Yeah. So, you know, this could go on a wall in a boy's room or, you know, however, but it's a super simple design and easy colors, and you can have a really pretty door hanger or just a sign to put on the wall in a kid's room or wherever you wanted to use it. So there you go. And I'm glad you hung out with me today and painted with me or just watched me paint. And I look forward to the next time. See you soon. Bye, friend.